Imagine a world where the unthinkable becomes reality, where crimes so shocking and audacious defy belief. From high-profile heists to chilling acts of violence, these stories will leave you questioning how such events could happen in our modern era. Stay tuned as we uncover the most jaw-dropping crimes of the decade that will make you say, "This can't be real." The case of Gabriel Fernandez, 2013. The tragic story of Gabriel Fernandez is one of the most harrowing child abuse cases in modern history. In 2013, 8-year-old Gabriel from Palmdale, California, suffered unimaginable abuse at the hands of his mother, Pearl Fernandez, and her boyfriend, Esoro Aguirre. Gabriel was subjected to prolonged physical and emotional torture, including being beaten, burned, and locked in a small cabinet. The abuse was so severe that Gabriel's teachers and others reported their concerns to Child Protective Services, CPS, multiple times. However, these reports were either ignored or mishandled, allowing the abuse to continue unchecked. Eventually, Gabriel succumbed to his injuries, dying from blunt force trauma after being found unresponsive at home. Gabriel's death sparked widespread outrage, not just for the horrific acts committed against him, but also for the systemic failures that allowed it to happen. The case exposed glaring flaws in the child welfare system, leading to a re-examination of CPS protocols and the prosecution of social workers involved in Gabriel's case. His story was later detailed in the documentary, The Trials of Gabriel Fernandez, which brought international attention to the issue of child abuse and the urgent need for reform. Gabriel's legacy serves as a heartbreaking reminder of the importance of vigilance, accountability, and action in protecting vulnerable children from harm. The Kim Kardashian Paris robbery, 2016. The Kim Kardashian Paris robbery was one of the most shocking and high-profile crimes of the decade, targeting one of the world's most famous celebrities. On October 3, 2016, Kim was staying in a luxury private apartment during Paris Fashion Week when a group of armed men disguised as police officers gained access to her room. They tied her up, gagged her, and locked her in the bathroom before stealing approximately $10 million worth of jewelry, including her $4 million engagement ring. The robbers fled the scene, leaving Kim shaken but unharmed. The incident became a global sensation, not only because of Kim's celebrity status, but also because of the audacity of the crime and its implications for high-profile individuals' safety. The investigation revealed that the heist had been meticulously planned by a group of older, experienced criminals, nicknamed the Grandpa Gangsters due to their advanced age. They tracked Kim's movements through social media posts, where she frequently displayed her expensive jewelry and shared her location. The crime highlighted the risks of oversharing on social platforms and the vulnerability of celebrities who publicly showcase their wealth. Kim later spoke openly about the psychological impact of the robbery, including severe anxiety and changes in her lifestyle, such as no longer wearing or flaunting expensive jewelry. The incident remains a stark reminder of how even the most secure and exclusive settings can become scenes of shocking crimes. The Turpin family imprisonment, 2018. The Turpin family case came to light in January 2018, revealing a horrifying story of abuse and captivity that shocked the world. David and Louise Turpin had kept their 13 children imprisoned in their Paris, California home under appalling conditions. The children, aged 2 to 29, were found severely malnourished, with some shackled to their beds. They were denied basic hygiene, education, and proper nutrition, living in filth and isolation. The abuse only came to light when a brave 17-year-old daughter escaped through a window and called the police, using a deactivated phone to report the horrors inside her home. Her courage ended years of torment for her and her siblings. The case highlighted systemic failures, as neighbors and others who had interacted with the family failed to recognize or act on signs of abuse. During their trial, the Turpin parents were revealed to have manipulated religious justifications to control their children and maintain their isolated existence. David and Louise were sentenced to life in prison for torture and child endangerment. The story left the public horrified and led to calls for stronger oversight of homeschooling and family welfare systems. The Turpin siblings, after their rescue, were placed in foster care and began the long journey of rebuilding their lives, carrying the scars of unimaginable abuse. This case remains a chilling example of how abuse can hide in plain sight, even in a seemingly normal suburban neighborhood. The murder of Jamal Khashoggi, 2018. The murder of Jamal Khashoggi, a Saudi journalist and outspoken critic of the Saudi government, shocked the world in October 2018. Khashoggi, who had been living in self-imposed exile in the United States and writing for the Washington Post, entered the Saudi consulate in Istanbul to obtain paperwork for his upcoming marriage. He never emerged. Subsequent investigations revealed that Khashoggi was brutally murdered inside the consulate by a hit squad believed to have been sent by high-ranking Saudi officials. His remains have never been found, though Turkish authorities allege that his body was dismembered and disposed of after the killing. The international fallout from Khashoggi's murder was significant, sparking a global outcry and intense scrutiny of Saudi Arabia's human rights record. Many governments, organizations, and individuals demanded accountability, and the incident strained Saudi Arabia's relations with several Western countries. While the Saudi government initially denied involvement, it later acknowledged that Khashoggi was killed in what they described as a rogue operation. However, evidence and intelligence reports pointed to Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman as having authorized the assassination. The case remains a stark reminder of the dangers faced by journalists and dissidents worldwide, and has fueled ongoing discussions about press freedom, human rights, and the need for international accountability in addressing such crimes. The college admissions scandal, 2019. The 2019 college admissions scandal, known as Operation Varsity Blues, exposed a massive scheme where wealthy families paid bribes to secure their children's admission into elite universities. The scandal implicated over 50 individuals, including high-profile celebrities like actresses Lori Loughlin and Felicity Huffman, as well as college coaches and admissions officials. The scheme, orchestrated by consultant William Rick Singer, involved falsifying test scores, fabricating athletic profiles, and bribing college officials to admit students under the guise of athletic recruitment, even when they had no experience in the sports claimed. This scandal sparked national outrage and shed light on the inequalities in the education system. It highlighted how wealth and privilege often grant unfair advantages, undermining the merit-based principles that higher education claims to uphold. Public backlash against the families involved was swift, and several faced legal consequences, with some serving prison time and paying hefty fines. The scandal also prompted universities to re-examine their admissions processes and implement reforms to prevent similar abuses. Beyond the courtroom, it ignited conversations about systemic inequities in education, exposing how access to opportunities is often skewed by socioeconomic status rather than talent or hard work. The Capitol Riot, 2021. On January 6, 2021, the world watched in shock as a mob of protesters stormed the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C., in an attempt to disrupt the certification of the 2020 presidential election results. The riot, incited by claims of election fraud promoted by then-President Donald Trump and his supporters, saw thousands of individuals breach security barriers and force their way into the Capitol building. Lawmakers, staff, and journalists were forced to evacuate or shelter in place as rioters vandalized offices, stole property, and clashed with law enforcement. The violence resulted in 5 deaths, numerous injuries, and significant damage to the Capitol, marking one of the darkest days in American democratic history. The aftermath of the riot triggered the largest investigation in FBI history, with hundreds of arrests and charges brought against those involved. The event also led to a second impeachment of Donald Trump, though he was ultimately acquitted. The Capitol riot exposed deep divisions in American society and raised concerns about the vulnerability of democratic institutions to misinformation and extremism. It also sparked widespread debates about the role of social media in amplifying falsehoods and organizing violent actions. The January 6 attack remains a stark reminder of the fragility of democracy and the importance of safeguarding it against internal threats. These shocking crimes remind us of the darkest aspects of human behavior and the profound impact they can have on individuals, communities, and even nations. Each story leaves us with lingering questions about justice, morality, and the resilience of those affected. If these stories shocked or intrigued you, let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most chilling and thought-provoking events. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.